Tiny Tim, no! What happened?
That's it, is it?
Wait until you see. Where was I? Oh no, no way! Oh. It's not. Oh, eyes! It's red. This can't be. What is happening?
Take it easy, yeah?
Stop this! This is horrible! I'm trying to jump! I'll change this! Anything, please! Like, this is horrible! Have you done anything, please? Just allow me! Just one more chance, go, please! No!
An improvised Christmas carol is brought to you by Hong Kong Improv. It is directed by King Chan and performed by Pete Grella, Christopher Carmen, Davina Cook, Rebecca J. Merritt, Emil Swentessen, and Henry Chu. The show will be performed in the Fringe Club on 3rd and 4th December and 10th December. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Diptii Shah, and thank you for coming on my channel. Today on Spotlight, we have 3 members from the team of An Improvised Christmas Carol. King Chan is an improv performer, coach, and director of the show. Pete Grella is a Hong Kong-based stand-up comedian, improviser, improv teacher, and the founder of Hong Kong Improv Group. Rebecca J. Merritt is an actor, voiceover talent, improviser, and youth drama teacher at Faust. Pete, Rebecca, King, welcome to my channel.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, King. So my first question is to Pete. Pete, you are kind of the king of comedy and improv in Hong Kong. So tell us, for the uninitiated, how would you describe an improvised Christmas carol?
Okay, first of all, maybe the court jester. I don't know about king, but not you, king. The king of anyway. Improvised Christmas Carol is taking a classic story that everyone's familiar with and just putting our own spin on it based on the audience suggestions. So it's following a basic story arc, but it's going to be a very different storytelling every time. So I think it'll keep the audience a lot more involved as well, more vested in it, because they're helping to build on a story that's 150, 200 years old.
So King, as the director of the show, how did you marry an literary classic, I would say the most read, most widely published, something that is, as old as 1843, to a modern day improv situation?
Yeah, I think it's really reading the story first and then finding what are the key themes and aspects of it. So for example, we know, I think a lot of people know Scrooge, but you have to read the story, understand there's he goes through a transformation. What is the story of transformation? So that becomes the spine of the story. That probably doesn't change in the improvised version as well. But what you can change, once you know what's the spine, everything else other than that can be changed. So where does he work and all that stuff, like everything, that's all necessary for the story, but it doesn't have to be the original. So then as long as you can, I differentiate what's the central part and what's the less central part, then that gives you the freedom to, okay, this can be improvised, this can be improvised, this cannot be improvised. And then you just dissect the two that way.
Sure. So Rebecca, you are an actor, a voice artist, an improviser yourself. As an actor, how do you take a traditional script, which is probably set in our heads since our childhood, and act it out as an improv?
Well, it's quite challenging because there are some points we do have to hit. So there are some key plot lines and elements we do need to make. And there are a few lines we have to say in order for everyone to know that the scene is ending. Now it's time to go on to the next scene. But all of the other stuff are suggestions based off of what the audience gives us. And that helps provide our character and the actions we do on stage. So they sort of tell us who we're going to be, and then we just have to make sure we stick to what we do know. So it does help that everyone knows the story so well, and we know the ghosts, and we know what happens at the beginning and the middle and the end. And it's easier as an actor because if you struggle with lines like myself, you don't have to memorize an entire script. You just need to know what you're doing for the basic structure, the spine, like King said, and the rest is all made up. So it's more fun, and I think it's more entertaining for the audience, and it's definitely a lot more comical, whereas the original, I think, might not be as funny as it could be if you're making it improv and more contemporary as well.
Sure. So it gives you a little bit more freedom as an actor. Pete, you play Uncle Scrooge one of the days on the show. That's the news on the grapevine.
That's going to be up to King, but yeah, so far I'll be slated to play Scrooge on one of the nights.
So what part of your comedy and improv can the audience expect to be seen over there?
Well, I think you've said you've seen my stand-up.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to talk to the audience a lot, and I like to break that fourth wall. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, if Scrooge reacts to something that maybe someone in the audience says or does, if it fits within the scene. So that could help to keep the audience on their toes, so to speak. And then just the sense of the silliness in play. 'Cause I'm also a teacher in a primary school, so being silly is part of the job.
And you're quite famous for being silly.
Well,
So, King,
Yeah.
what relevance, if any, do you find between the classic story and today's time?
Well, I mean, I think the themes are not that different, really. The themes are, I mean, the whole theme of Christmas Carol is, difference of the classes. If you're what the class, what kind of how the rich people can treat poverty and all that. That's essentially that. Those are all the themes which still run true today. I was reading an article this morning talking about virtual reality technology and saying how virtual reality technology today is driven by the minds of the people at the tech companies, and their childhood was, space future and all that. And the person, the author was saying, how different would it be if these people at the top of tech companies put the same energy and effort into, sustainable environment, sustainable development, or, working on poverty. The themes are still the same. It's just a different time. And I think to some extent what improvising or bringing up to a modern time can do is it can make it more relevant for the audience, because the theme is there, but then it's like the examples don't make much sense, or at least not to everyone, especially not was it Victorian times England. Whereas now you can bring it up to whatever it is the audience, it has to be relevant to the audience, because the audience is going to tell us what they want to see. So they can resonate with it much more easily. But the theme is still the same.
Rebecca, any stories from the rehearsals? Anything funny, any tidbits, any insider information from the cast that you can share with the audience?
Go ham.
It's been, well, we've been doing different characters each day and trying out different characters every day. So that's been quite interesting. I think the most exciting thing, each ghost will be a different genre. So last night I was trying out the ghosts, and the first one was Western, and the second ghost was sci-fi.
Wow.
And then Bob Cratchit and his wife will ask the audience for a relationship phase that they are in. So when it goes to the Cratchit family, you will see them either in the honeymoon phase or 7-year itch phase. So everything the audience says will inform us of our relationships and the way we're going to act, and some of what we say as well.
All right, that is a lot of news to share. So if I came down to watch all the 3 shows, I'm going to meet different people doing different things, in different times and space. Awesome.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. This is new and interesting and fun. So guys, Christmas is a time of cheer, fun, frolic, and your show is kind of starting the season, isn't it?
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yes. So you
want to
better
start
set
it
the
right.
mood right, yeah? What will you say? What can the audiences expect? Pete.
I think what they can expect is to be surprised and entertained, because the people are going to be coming in and they think they're going to know the story. Oh, it's a Christmas Carol. We know this, but we're going to be putting a different spin on it. And because we are 6 very different people who are performing, we're from very different backgrounds and different experiences, that we're going to put our own take on these. So they're going to recognize the overall story, but they're going to see a lot of surprises. And I think they're going to be entertained and have a lot of laughs just from some of the situations that arise.
Fab. King, what can the audience expect from the director?
I think they expect a really fun night, and I expect they can feel that this is their Christmas Carol, because we're going to have about maybe 25 suggestions. So 25 aspects of the story will be changed. So
Wow.
imagine if like essentially any story, a fairy tale, anything, 25 aspects of it are going to be changed. So everyone in the audience is going to pitch in, essentially, and we hope they feel that this is their Christmas Carol. This is something they can. It was an experience for everyone live in the moment, and that you can tell people afterwards, but you have to be there to feel it. And I think that's what improv does best, and that's what I want to bring.
Awesome. Rebecca, what can the audience expect?
Well, they definitely won't be bored. It won't be a long, boring tale. If you don't like musicals, we're not going to be singing a ton of tunes, so you don't have to worry about that. Unless one of the genres is musical, then the ghost might be forced to sing a little. But I think ultimately the audience can expect to connect to the story and to connect to us in a contemporary way. And also, at the end of the day, Christmas and A Christmas Carol is still about family and about our relationships with each other and with our community and with the world, and what our values are and how important they are to everyone around us. So I think people can be ready to be entertained and get a good laugh, and also still feel that sense of belonging and community and family.
Awesome, guys. Congratulations, all of you, for an improvised Christmas Carol, and wishing you all the best for the show. Thank you for coming on my channel and spending your time here. Let's spread cheer.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. If you still haven't purchased your tickets, then go ahead and do so. I will share all the ticket booking details in the description box below. Start your Christmas season right by revisiting a literary classic customized to your taste.